Hello, my name is Braden Grip, and today I'll be talking about my personal educational philosophy. The key to my personal educational philosophy is to make every child feel valued and cared for in the classroom. This is important as I believe that students are more likely to be open to positively contributing to the lesson and the greater classroom environment if they feel comfortable in the setting. This helps students who are coming from a non-familiar environment to feel as though they can become involved without fear of being laughed at or ridiculed. It is also important to create inclusive classrooms to cover diverse needs of students that you may teach. It can already be difficult for students who come from different backgrounds, whether that is religiously, socio-culturally, sexually, or from a different country. By having an inclusive classroom, it makes the transition to school life easier for students who may not feel comfortable in the general setting. In my classroom, I will advocate there are no questions not worth asking. Making a student feel as though they are valued and their work is important and significant is a major part in boosting a child's morale and improving their continued output into classroom discussion. Student motivation is one of the key aspects of inclusivity, and we know that students who are motivated are more likely to engage in their learning, as well as benefiting the classroom by contributing to discussion. By being actively engaged in their learning, as well as the classroom activities, students who may be at risk of being bored and therefore acting out in a negative manner are limited. This allows the teacher more time to focus on certain students or areas where extra assistance may be required. This also helps learning outside of the school setting, as students who are in an environment where they are cared for and nurtured to be the best they can tend to feel more motivated with their studies and therefore are more likely to engage with the specific topics outside of the classroom in an effort to improve themselves. This approach to education is something which is most notably advocated by Nell Noddings. Noddings believes in creating classroom environments which are inclusive and students can be free to explore different approaches to learning. He specifically asks, does the student recognise that he or she is cared for, and is the teacher thought by the student to be a caring teacher? He goes on to explain that although the teacher may profess to care, it does not necessarily mean that the students feel cared for. It is important in the classroom to have the rules and not waver from them. However, it is also important to recognise that students are human and cannot simply sit and write for hours on end without getting bored, frustrated, or completely switching off. It is also important to know that not all students learn in the same manner, and it is important in creating an inclusive environment to attempt to teach all students, not just the ones that learn best, in a specific way. By having inclusivity as the key point of the classroom setting, teachers can select their side of the nature-nurture debate. A strong believer in creating nurturing environments was Bell Hooks. Like Noddings, Hooks believed that classrooms should be about student growth. She also stated that in her own early schooling, teachers were committed to nurturing intellect so their students could become better scholars, thinkers, and/or cultural workers. By this, she meant that while there was an emphasis on learning the curriculum, her teachers made sure that all of their students knew that they were not defined by where they lived, where they came from, or what other family members have done. It is important for students to believe that they are their own people who are different from everyone else. By doing so, students develop their sense of self-belief and have a will to learn in an attempt to make the best and most successful versions of themselves. The job of a teacher is not just to teach students what the curriculum tells them they need to. It is to help students grow and become the best they can be. Teachers are not there to be the student's friend. However, they are not there to be a dictator either. If a teacher lets students know that they care, and they can show that to the class, it will allow for a more open classroom. This makes school seem a safer environment and an area where they can begin their paths to achieving all of their goals in life. Thank you.